The Watchers didn't just marry human women, they weaponized humanity. Chapter 8, verse 1. And Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them. Before the Watchers, humans had tools. After Azazel, they had weapons. This wasn't evolution. This was technology transfer from a non-human intelligence. Azazel, whose name means God strengthens or possibly scapegoat, didn't just teach metallurgy. He taught weaponized metallurgy. The text specifies swords first, knives second, defensive armor third. This is military technology in order of tactical priority. Archaeological evidence shows a sudden leap in metalworking sophistication in the ancient Near East. Cultures went from copper tools to bronze weapons seemingly overnight. Historians call it the Bronze Age Revolution. Enoch calls it angelic treason. But Azazel's corruption went deeper than warfare. Verse 1 continues, and bracelets, ornaments, the use of antimony, the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures, cosmetics, jewelry, personal adornment. Why would a fallen angel teach makeup? Because Azazel understood something profound: vanity is a weapon. Make humans obsessed with physical appearance, and you fracture communities. Create hierarchies based on beauty, trigger jealousy, competition, and violence. The first recorded war over a beautiful woman, Helen of Troy, which echoes this pattern. The face that launched 1,000 ships wasn't just poetry. It was the logical outcome of Azazel's teaching. Verse 1 ends with the consequence. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication and were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Weapons created warfare. Cosmetics created lust. Together they created chaos. But Azazel wasn't working alone. Verse 2 names other teachers. Semyaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Semyaza, the leader of the rebellion, specialized in magic and herbalism. This is pharmacology, but also sorcery. He was teaching altered states of consciousness, direct communion with spiritual entities, the occult. Verse 2 continues. Armaros taught the resolving of enchantments. Barakijel taught astrology. Kokabel the constellations. Ezekiel the knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel the signs of the earth. Shamsiel the signs of the sun. And Sariel the course of the moon. Read that list again. These aren't random skills. This is a complete curriculum for understanding and potentially manipulating natural law. Astrology. Reading fate in the stars. Meteorology. Predicting weather patterns. Astronomy. Mapping celestial mechanics. These sound like science. And they are. But in ancient context, this was power. Knowledge of the heavens meant knowing when to plant, when to harvest, when to wage war, when to sail. Those who possessed this information controlled those who didn't. The Watchers were creating an elite class. Humans who held knowledge the masses couldn't access, and who communicated directly with angelic beings and wielded their secrets. Verse 3 delivers the indictment. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. Humanity is dying. Not from natural causes, from the knowledge itself. The weapons Azazel taught enabled mass slaughter. The magic Semyaza revealed opened doorways to destructive spiritual forces. The astronomical knowledge created power imbalances that led to tyranny. Knowledge without wisdom is devastation. The question haunts every technological revolution. Just because we can, should we? The Watchers answered yes, always yes. Give humanity fire and watch the world burn. Chapter 8 describes what scholars call the corruption of human innocence. Before the Watchers, humans lived in relative simplicity. Agricultural, tribal, governed by natural law. After the Watchers, they became something else. Killers, sorcerers, astrologers, warriors. The Watchers did not just teach forbidden knowledge. They taught humans to become gods. And when humans try to become gods, they become demons. Leviticus 16 in the canonical Bible describes a ritual scapegoat sent into the wilderness for Azazel, bearing the sins of Israel into the desert. Jewish tradition identified this Azazel as the same fallen angel from Enoch. The ritual was not metaphorical. It was banishment, sending corruption back to its source. But here's the terrifying truth. The knowledge couldn't be unlearned. Once humanity knew how to forge swords, the secret couldn't be forgotten. Once they understood the stars' predicted seasons, astronomy became permanent. Once they discovered herbs that altered consciousness, shamanism was born. The Watchers succeeded. They corrupted the source code of human civilization. And the price for that knowledge? Chapter 9 reveals the cost. The entire earth itself began to scream. Let's discuss the cause of this scream. When angels breed with humans, what emerges? And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. 3,000 ells. An ell is approximately 18 inches. 3,000 ells equals 4,500 feet. That is not a giant, that is a mountain with a heartbeat. Scholars debate whether this is scribal error or hyperbole, but the message is clear. These were not natural births. These were an abomination, hybrids that violated the fundamental laws of creation. Genesis 6:4 confirms their existence on earth, and I quote, "There were giants in the earth in those days, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown." The Nephilim. In Hebrew, Nephilim comes from nephal, meaning to fall. They were the fallen ones, the offspring of rebellion. But size was not their only characteristic. It says, "who consumed all the acquisitions of men." And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. They ate everything humans produced, livestock, crops, resources. And when that was not enough, they ate humans. This is predation on an industrial scale. Imagine a being 30 feet tall, this being a conservative estimate. The caloric intake alone. Ancient calculations suggest a single Nephilim would need the daily food supply of an entire village. Multiply that by hundreds or thousands of these creatures and you have an ecological collapse. Scripture states, "And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood." Genetic experimentation, cross-species corruption, cannibalism among the giants themselves. The Nephilim were not just destroying humanity, they were destroying the created order. Every species, every bloodline, every natural boundary was being violated. Chapter 9, verse 9 describes the result. Quote, "And the whole earth has been filled with blood and unrighteousness. Blood everywhere, justice nowhere." Ancient flood myths from Mesopotamia, Greece, India, and the Americas all describe a pre-flood world dominated by giants or godmen who became tyrannical. The Epic of Gilgamesh features Gilgamesh himself, 2/3 divine, 1/3 human, and described as gigantic. These are not coincidental folk tales. They are cultural memories of the same event recorded in Enoch. But the corruption went beyond violence. Scripture says, "And the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones." The planet itself was screaming. In ancient cosmology, the earth wasn't inert matter. It was a living witness to human and angelic action. Blood spilled on the ground cries out, even in today's accepted Bible. According to Genesis 4:10, when Cain murders Abel, the earth testifies. And what it testified to was apocalyptic. The Nephilim represented the ultimate threat. A species that should not exist, consuming a species that should. Humanity was being hunted to extinction by its own hybrid offspring. Some early church fathers believed the Nephilim's purpose was deliberate genocide. Satan's attempt to corrupt human bloodlines so thoroughly that the promised Messiah, the proto-evangelium, the seed of the woman from Genesis 3:15, could never be born fully human. But I digress. If true, the Nephilim were not just monsters. They were weapons in a cosmic war. Now get this, in Numbers 13:33, it mentions Nephilim surviving even after the flood, spotted by Israelite spies in Canaan. "And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers." Grasshoppers. That's how normal humans describe themselves next to these beings. The Bible commands the complete destruction of certain Canaanite peoples. Men, women, children, this has troubled readers for millennia. But if those populations carried Nephilim genetics, the command takes on different meaning. Surgical removal of a genetic weapon before it can spread. Chapter 9, verse 8 captures the desperation. "And now behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended and cannot cease." The dead are crying out, not metaphorically, their souls trapped between death and judgment. They are screaming for justice, and heaven hears them. "And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, the throne of thy glory stands unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages." The archangels are about to deliver humanity's lawsuit directly to the throne of God. The Nephilim's days are numbered, but their destruction will require something unprecedented. Divine intervention on a scale that will reset creation itself. The flood is coming, and it won't be natural. 4 names, 4 witnesses, 4 archangels standing between humanity and extinction. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth. They saw lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. Michael, the warrior, Uriel, the fire of God, Raphael, the healer, Gabriel, the messenger. These aren't random angels. These are the chief princes of heaven, the command structure of the angelic host, and they're watching earth descend into hell. And they said one to another, "The earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven." The earth itself was crying, not the people, the planet. Ancient Hebrew cosmology understood creation as consciousness. Rocks witness, trees praise, rivers testify. When violence saturates the ground, it screams. When blood soaks soil, soil remembers. Chapter 9, verse 3 states, "And now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men make their suit, saying, bring our cause before the Most High. Humanity's lawsuit has reached the celestial court. The souls of the murdered victims of the Nephilim, casualties of forbidden knowledge, those destroyed by weapons forged from angelic secrets are demanding justice, and they've retained the 4 most powerful advocates in existence. Verse 4 begins the formal indictment. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory stands unto all the generations of the ages, and thy name holy, glorious, and blessed unto all the ages. Almost as if they're approaching the supreme judge with a capital case. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things. Nothing can hide itself from thee. Then comes the accusation, verse 6, Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. Azazel is named first, the angel who taught weapons, warfare, and vanity. But notice the phrase, eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven. This was theft, intellectual property from the divine realm, stolen and weaponized against creation. Verse 7 says, And Semyaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates. Semyaza had authority. Delegation from God to lead other watchers in their observation of humanity. He didn't just rebel, he committed treason, using his God-given position to organize an insurrection. And they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. The charges, sexual corruption, genetic violation, knowledge transfer, now the evidence. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. Causation established. The Watchers' actions directly produce the Nephilim. The Nephilim directly produced planetary devastation. Verse 10 delivers the plea. And now behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended, and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. The dead will not stop screaming until justice is served. This echoes Genesis 4:10 when God tells Cain, and I quote, The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. Blood has a voice, murder has a witness, and that witness is immortal. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass, and thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them. And thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these. Here's the truth. The archangels need permission to act. They cannot intervene in human affairs without divine authorization. They have witnessed genocide, genetic corruption, planetary devastation, and are powerless to stop it until God issues orders. Free will was not just given to humans. It was given to angels. And now the consequences of angelic free will have brought creation to the brink. The archangels are asking if they have authorization to restore order. This moment matters because it establishes a principle that echoes through all subsequent apocalyptic literature. Evil is permitted until judgment is decreed. God doesn't prevent catastrophe. He adjudicates it. The question is never whether God is powerful enough to stop evil. The question is whether he will. Revelation 6:10 contains the same plea from martyrs under the altar. How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Same question. Same desperation. How long will evil be tolerated? You will find that out in our next episode.